The plasma bolt struck 3 meters to Kale's left, vaporizing a section of ancient mahogany in a shower of superheated splinters. He didn't flinch. His wife Sarah, crouched beside him in the undergrowth, activated their cloaking field with trembling hands, the same hands that had held their daughter Nira just 6 rotations ago. "They're closing the perimeter," Sarah whispered in their native Vexhari, her translator implant disabled to avoid detection. Her bioscanner flickered against her wrist, painting thermal signatures in angry red across the Costa Rican jungle. 23 humans, all armed, all between them and the compound, where their daughter's signal pulsed like a dying star. Kyle pulled her close, feeling the 4-chambered rhythm of her hearts against his own. "We didn't come 47 light-years to stop now." The sound of boots crushing vegetation grew louder. Commands barked in English, a language they'd studied obsessively during the 2-week journey through slipspace, memorizing every word their captors had spoken in the intercepted transmission. The one where a human had said, "The specimen is young, healthy, perfect for the program." Their daughter was not a specimen. She was 6 years old. It had happened so fast. They'd been scientists, xenobotanists studying the remarkable biodiversity of Earth's tropical regions from orbit, careful to follow every concordant protocol. Their daughter had been with them on the research vessel Wind Whisper, excited to help catalog the magnificent plant life below. They were supposed to be observers, peaceful, invisible. Then the gravitational anomaly, systems failing, the emergency pod launching with Nira inside, her screams cutting through the comm system as she plummeted toward the green hell below. By the time they'd regained control, human military had already scrambled. By the time they'd reached the crash site, their daughter was gone, taken by soldiers who'd found her before she could activate the pod's self-destruct protocols. The Vexhari Council had been clear. "No rescue attempt. You'll start a war. She's already gone." Kale and Sarah had stolen a stealth shuttle and come anyway. A helicopter's rotors thumped overhead, the downdraft creating a temporary clearing in the canopy. Sarah adjusted their cloaking field's frequency, compensating for the infrared scanners she knew would be sweeping the area. Their technology was centuries ahead of Earth's, but these humans were resourceful in ways that terrified her. "Northwest quadrant clear," a voice crackled through a radio somewhere too close. "Proceeding to Sector 7. Kyle consulted his own scanner. Sector 7. That was where they needed to go. Where Nira's biosignature pulsed from inside a structure the humans had tried very hard to hide from satellite observation. "They're hurting us," Sarah realized, her analytical mind cutting through her panic. "They want us to move northeast, away from the compound." "Then we go through them." Sarah's secondary eyelids flickered, a Vexhari expression of fear. "Kyle, they'll kill us." "Then Nira dies alone in that place." His voice cracked. "I won't let her think we abandoned her. I won't—" He stopped, composing himself. "She's terrified, Sarah. I can feel it. The parent bond. She's calling for us." Sarah felt it too. A phantom pressure at the base of her skull where all Vexhari maintained psychic links with their offspring. It was supposed to fade as children matured, but Nira was still so young, still so connected, and right now that connection was a knife made of pure anguish. "Okay," Sarah whispered. "We go through them." They moved like ghosts through the jungle, their cloaking field bending light around their forms. The technology was perfect, except for the displacement shimmer when moving too quickly, and the faint ozone smell the generator produced. Both things a trained observer might notice. The humans were trained observers. "Contact! Shimmer at 2:00. Gunfire erupted. Kale threw up an energy barrier, the translucent shield absorbing rounds that would have torn through their torsos. But each impact drained their power cells. They had maybe 20 minutes of charge left. 20 minutes to cross 3 kilometers of hostile territory. Sarah returned fire with their disruptor pistol, the weapon set to stun. They weren't murderers. These soldiers were just doing their jobs, protecting their world from what they perceived as invaders. She understood. But understanding didn't mean surrender. A soldier went down, nervous system temporarily scrambled. Another ducked behind a tree. Kyle grabbed Sarah's arm and they ran, crashing through ferns and over moss-covered stones, their advantage in speed compensating for unfamiliarity with the terrain. Behind them, more orders, more movement. The jungle itself seemed to be hunting them. They stopped in a clearing where a waterfall cascaded into a pool of crystalline water. Sarah checked their supplies. The disruptor pistol, 43% charge. The cloaking field, 18 minutes. Medical kit, unused. Food rations, irrelevant. Look, Kyle said softly, pointing to marks carved into a tree. Fresh marks, made by something sharp. The Vexhari equivalent of letters, crude but unmistakable. Mama. Papa. Sarah's legs buckled. Kyle caught her, his own vision blurring with tears that evaporated in the humidity. Their daughter had been here. She'd escaped or been moved, but she'd left them a message. She knew they'd come. Of course she knew. She was their daughter. She's smart, Sarah managed. So smart. Like her mother, Kyle said, studying the marks. These are fresh, maybe an hour old. She's leaving us a trail. Or they're using her as bait. The words hung between them like a death sentence, because it was probably true, because these humans had shown themselves capable of precisely that level of strategic thinking. Then we spring the trap, Kale decided, but on our terms. The compound appeared through the trees like a wound in the jungle. Concrete bunkers, electrified fencing, guard towers with automated weapon systems. The whole facility was designed to be invisible from above, but impregnable from the ground. Sarah scanned it with every sensor they had. Thermal showed 47 humans inside. Power signatures indicated experimental laboratories. And there, in the eastern structure, one small Vexhari biosignature burning bright. Nira. Heavy patrol at the main gate, Kale observed. Secondary entrance here. He highlighted a service door, but it's got biometric scanners. We can't bypass those without triggering alarms. What about the drainage system? Sarah zoomed in on a grated opening near the compound's southern perimeter. It's too small for humans to consider a security risk, but we're more slender. It'll be monitored. Everything is monitored, love. We just need 30 seconds of opportunity. Kyle looked at his wife, this brilliant, fierce creature who'd abandoned her career, her world, her safety for their daughter, and felt a surge of love so intense it hurt. Together? Always. The drainage pipe was exactly as terrible as expected, cramped, flooded with runoff water, reeking of chemicals and decay. They crawled through it in near total darkness, their bioluminescent skin providing the only light. The cloaking field couldn't function in such confined spaces, so they relied on speed and prayer. Sarah went first, her smaller frame navigating the tight corners. Behind her, Kale monitored their scanner, watching thermal signatures move above them. Guards changing shifts, scientists working late, and Nira, still in that eastern building, her signal now erratic with stress. Hold on, little star, Sarah thought, projecting as hard as she could through their parent bond. We're coming. Did she imagine it, or did Nira's signal stabilize slightly? The tunnel opened into a maintenance room, empty. They emerged dripping and exhausted, Sarah immediately reactivating their cloaking field. 10 minutes of charge remaining. East building, Kyle whispered. Across the courtyard, past those guards, through 3 locked doors, into the laboratory section. Piece of fruit, Sarah said, using the Vexhari expression for something easy. Despite everything, Kale almost smiled. They made it across the courtyard. Through the first door by hacking its electronic lock with their multi-tool. Through the second by waiting for a scientist to swipe her badge and slipping in behind her. The third door was different, reinforced, with armed guards outside and a retinal scanner requiring human DNA. We need a hostage, Sarah said quietly. Kyle shook his head. We need a volunteer. He studied the guards. 2 of them, young, probably mid-20s. One was showing the other photos on his phone, grinning. Photos of a baby. His baby, Kale realized. New father, proud, terrified something might happen to his child. Just like us, Cale thought. He stepped out of the cloaking field, hands raised. Please, he said in carefully practiced English. Don't shoot. Both guards spun, weapons up. One reached for his radio. Wait, Cale said urgently. You have child, baby, I see photo. He pointed. I have child, my child, here, inside. They take her, please. You understand? The guard with the baby hesitated, just for a second, but that second was everything. You're the aliens, he said. Not a question. We are parents, Kyle corrected. Our daughter, 6 years old. She crash. She's scared. Please. The second guard kept his weapon trained on Cale. This is bullshit. They're playing us. Call it in, Martinez. But Martinez didn't. He was looking at Cale with something that might have been recognition. There's a kid in there? An alien kid? My kid. Jesus. Martinez lowered his weapon slightly. They told us it was some kind of specimen, biological research. They don't tell us shit down here. Martinez, what the hell are you doing? I'm thinking, Davis. Martinez glanced at the reinforced door. You got any proof that you're her parents? Sarah deactivated the cloaking field and stepped forward. She held out her wrist scanner, showing the biosignature data, the genetic markers that proved beyond doubt that the small life form inside was their offspring. Martinez studied it, not understanding the alien script but understanding the universal language of parental desperation. You came alone? Just the two of you? Against all this? He gestured at the compound around them. Of course, Sarah said simply. She is our daughter. Martinez and Davis exchanged a long look, some conversation happening without words. Finally, Martinez sighed. I've got a kid, 3 months old, and if someone took her... He swallowed hard. I'd burn the world down. He swiped his badge. The door clicked open. 3rd floor, Lab 7. You've got maybe 5 minutes before shift change. After that, I can't help you. Why? Cale asked. Why help us? Martinez looked at him with tired eyes. Because I'm betting when this all shakes out, when the politicians and generals finish arguing, they're going to realize you're just parents trying to find your kid. And maybe, just maybe, that matters more than whatever orders I was following. He paused. Also, I really don't want to be the guy who shoots someone's mom and dad. Thank you, Sarah whispered. Go, now, before I change my mind. They ran. Lab 7 was a horror. Examination tables, restraints, monitoring equipment designed for bodies that weren't meant to be monitored. And there, in a containment cell with transparent walls, their daughter. Nira was curled in the corner, her skin pale from stress, her large eyes red from crying. She looked so small, so breakable. When she saw them, her face transformed. Mama! Papa! The containment field was a standard electromagnetic barrier, sophisticated by Earth standards, trivial for Vex-Hari technology. Kyle disabled it in seconds. Sarah was already through the opening, scooping Nira into her arms, their daughter's thin limbs wrapping around her with desperate strength. I knew you'd come, Nira sobbed into her mother's shoulder. I knew you'd come. I carved trees. I left signs. I knew... Shh, little star, Sarah whispered, her own tears finally falling. We've got you. We've got you now. Cale joined them, his arms encircling both wife and daughter, the three of them forming a unit again. Complete, whole. The parent bond sang with relief so profound it was almost painful. Alarms started blaring. Time to leave, Cale said. Cale. They didn't make it out the way they came in. The compound was locked down, guards pouring from every corridor. So they went up instead, through emergency stairs, onto the roof, where a guard tower stood against the night sky. Sarah's fingers flew across her wrist device, sending their coordinates to the shuttle they'd hidden in a mountain cave 50 kilometers away. 2 minutes for retrieval, she gasped. Gunfire pinged off the roof's surface. Kyle threw up another energy barrier, the last of their power cells draining away. They had maybe 30 seconds left. Then they'd be exposed, vulnerable, human. Mama, I'm scared, Nira whimpered. I know, baby, I know. The night sky lit up. Their shuttle descended like a falling star, its stealth systems failing under the emergency override. its weapons systems lighting up every targeting computer in a 50-mile radius. It was a declaration, a challenge, a parent's roar. Come and try, it seemed to say. The shuttle's boarding ramp extended, 20 meters away, 15, 10. The barrier failed, bullets flew, and then Martinez was there, he and Davis firing not at them, but at the other guards, creating confusion, creating chaos, creating just enough cover for a family to board a ship and escape. Go! Martinez screamed. Go! They went. As the shuttle broke atmosphere, near a safe between them, Kyle looked at the blue marble shrinking below. Somewhere down there, a young father named Martinez was probably in a lot of trouble. Somewhere down there, a chain of command was losing their minds. Somewhere down there, humanity was learning that the universe contained more than just threats and specimens. It contained families. Will they come after us? Nira asked quietly, her head on her mother's shoulder. Maybe, Sarah said honestly. Probably. But we'll be ready, Kyle added. Together. Together, Nira echoed. The shuttle jumped to slipspace, leaving Earth behind, but not forgotten. Never forgotten. Because Kale had learned something important down there in that jungle, in that compound, in those final seconds on the roof. Humanity was dangerous, resourceful, terrifyingly capable of both great cruelty and unexpected mercy. They were creatures of contradictions, soldiers who showed compassion, captors who enabled escape, warriors who understood that some things mattered more than orders. They were parents too. And maybe, just maybe, that was the most human thing of all. 3 months later, galactic news channels reported the first diplomatic contact between the Vexhari Concordat and Earth's united government. The negotiations were tense, complicated, full of mistrust on both sides. But they happened, and on Earth, a soldier named Martinez received a package. Inside was a device of alien technology, a translator implant programmed with Vexhari, along with a message in perfect English. Thank you for teaching me that courage is universal. May your daughter grow up in a universe where parents never have to choose between love and fear. Kyle, Sarah, and Nira. Martinez kept it on his desk. A reminder that the universe was bigger and stranger and more wonderful than he'd ever imagined, and that sometimes the greatest act of defiance was simply choosing to be kind.